yellows and blue will attack from right to left. Stefan Ratchford's about to get the game in motion against the men with the big red V on their chests, the men from St Helens. And it's Jordan Turner who is underneath that particular kickoff. And here we go. And this, as I say, is the top 8 in the Super League tangle for the right to get to Old Trafford on October the 8th. This should be very special.
Yeah, and this is where Warrington, they want to make their mark, make sure that the defence is pretty solid. And you'll see that James Roby will take control from the dummy half position. Nothing fancy, just make sure that they're kicking early. Oh, that's been ricocheted away.
A chance there. And Russell gets the ball, knocked it backwards, but look where Warrington pick up this possession just inside the Saints half of the field. Ryan Atkins will take it forward now for the Warrington Wolves.
It's a poor effort. Jordan Turner really should have got that ball away.
They do that so well though, Warrington, don't they?
Yeah, but you've got to give yourself time. He should have been back at least another 2 metres. Big error.
So big test of the St Helens defence coming up here then, as Hill gets the ball wide to Gidley, and he then just drops the pass off to Jack Hughes, who has signed an extension to his contract. He said, as Jenna Brooks told you right at the start of tonight's show, a no-brainer that he would stay here at Warrington. Ashton Sims, the big Fijian, tries to get the Warrington Wolves on the scoreboard first. Is halted a half a metre away from the line. Clark to Gidley. Gidley stabs the ball to the in-goal area. Awful ricochet. Collected though by Mr. Dependable behind his own line, James Roby. Goal line dropout. Incessant Warrington pressure.
Well, Eddie, I'm certain this game is going to be won and lost on defence. We saw the theory from St Helens. They tried to kick early. Jordan Turner, his intention on the third tackle was to get as far away from his own try line as possible. Obviously, that backfired. The charge down that Warrington are renowned for has allowed them to apply this pressure, and now they're doing what they didn't want to do, which is defending their own line.
It's amazing, though, you could see there, we often talk about James Roby and his defence in tackling, and also his runs from dummy half, but the way that he read that little kick through from Gidley, he's so alert, is James Roby.
Chris Hill gets Warrington to the 20-metre mark on the end of the second tackle. Clark goes to the right-hand side and finds Westerman. He finds Gidley. Gidley then to Hughes. He was looking for Ratchford, but that was cut off. But there is a penalty here coming Warrington's way.
Well, they've got so many numbers flooding forward, Warrington. Whenever there's a man running at line, there's someone punching up and hitting a hole. Here they go again. They took a quick tap.
Well, it's obviously the referee, Phil Bentham, has made it quite clear. No messing around, don't hold him down. You can see Sims, he wants to get on with it.
This is Sandow, and Ben Curry is cut down by the tackle of Luke Walsh. Sandow's waiting, they want to quick play the ball, Warrington, that's the game plan. Here now is Westerman again. Arced and angled run from Westerman gets Warrington to within 3 metres of the line.
He was looking for an inside man coming on the angle, there was nobody there.
This now is Gidley. Gidley to Chris Hill, and Chris Hill gets Warrington up to a perfect start.
Double movement, perhaps.
Well, Luke Walsh is saying no try, no try. What does Phil Bentham say? He agrees. No try on the field.
I think it was just short and then bounced away. Is it a double movement?
Well, you're allowed to bounce over as long as momentum takes you over there. He certainly landed short. The question is, does momentum take him over the line? I think his first movement is there, and I think there's a definite movement of his arm after that. But I'd like to see it in normal speed. Let's see what it comes up like there. It's definitely short of the line first, and then there's the second movement. That's the movement of the arm. I think this is disallowed.
I think whether you see that at normal speed or at slow motion, that's obvious.
It's a penalty, and St Helens will be very relieved indeed. It was a beautiful run, wasn't it, by the big fella?
It's a clear double movement. You can see even at full speed, still looks like a double movement.
Well, this will be no try, surely.
Well, Luke Walsh said it was immediately, and Phil Bentham said so on the field, and Joe Cobb, the video referee, agrees. Red light against Chris Hill and Warrington, and so a penalty right underneath the St Helens sticks. That's the reason why.
Well, it's a let-off for Saints because Chris Hill hit a very good line, goes through, finds his front, unfortunately can't make the try line, but they need to get away from the sticks now because they've been under pressure from the first couple of carries where they went short side. The reason why Jordan Turner had that kick charge down, because the speed of the line, because they were so condensed, they had nowhere to go, Saints. They need to play off centre field.
Chris Hill was denied his first try in Super League this year. He has got over the whitewash in 2016, but that was against the Cup.
That would be the surely that's an
Oldham in the Cup. No, it went backwards. It went backwards, says Phil Bentham. Play on.
I'm not so sure. Roby's away though. They're taking advantage. Long ball kick from Wilkin.
Yes, and an invitation for Adam Swift to chase. But the ball is too quick for everybody. Swift, Ratchford, Percival and company.
Again, an extension of the game plan. Let's kick the ball early, get down this end of the park. And John Wilkin, who skippers the side, leads by example. Here's the sloppy pass. I've no problem with that, Steve. It's a little bit messy, a little bit sloppy. It's big Alex Walmsley, who's charged with passing the ball to Jordan Turner. He goes slightly behind him, but I have no problem with that. Good play from Saints and territorial advantage to them at last.
Yes, but head and feed at the Saints at the scrum rather to Warrington. Gidley gets the ball away from the base of that scrum. It was King who played it to Matty Russell. He is grounded by a good tackle from Greg Richards. Ashton Sims now trying to outmuscle John Wilkin and Roby. Clark. Sandow finds Curry. And they were waiting for Ben Curry. They know the danger that he poses from the second row. And this fella does as well, Ryan Atkins.
Good play by Atkins as well. He could see that Luke Walsh was very slow to get into the second marker position. It's a high bomb from Sandow.
It is, and Lomax is after it and claims it perfectly.
Oh, look how he takes control of that, Johnny Lomax. Had a couple of Saints players in front of him, but he commanded that ball. He shouts for it, he runs off onto it, never takes his eyes off the ball, and they earn a penalty here with Jack Owens with a strong carry.
Hands in at the rock. Referee Phil Bentham, I think Stuart Cummings is laying out the platform here for a very quick start to the Super 8s.
Well, that's exactly what we need. It's almost like a new competition. We want everything to be quick and clean, and he's certainly putting his mark on this.
Well, let's hope all the players take notice. There's so much wonderful talent on display tonight.
Joe Greenwood would take it forward with Swift, joint top try scorer for the Saints. Here now is Alex Walmsley.
Yeah, Walmsley back to his best. Slow start this season.
Roby will come the short side, and it's picked up off the toes by Lomax, and an interception here from Sandow. He has support with him. He lost his footing, and Luke Walsh is able to get him to the ground.
Well, he's an
Surely that's a penalty.
If he sees something Sandow, he goes for it, doesn't he?
Jack Hughes down the right-hand side.
Just didn't have the speed, did he, Sandow? It was a great interception. Good job he did as well. There was 2-on-1. Saints would have scored there. Sloppy pass.
Ashton Sims flicks the ball away to Sandow. He tries to go round Roby and fails. Darrell Clark is waiting at dummy half for the Wolves. Offside, St Helens. Crowd on this near side, baying for that penalty.
To be fair, he had 4 or 5 to choose from. Clark wanted to get on with it. Referee Phil Bentham says you won't go until I tell you.
There's controlled restarts, Stuart. That's what it's all about.
Well, he didn't give the mark. He was just about to blow his whistle for the mark when Darrell Clark took off, so that's why he brought him back.
Well, Saints under pressure yet again. Watch for Warrington. They've utilised this coming back on the attack. They'll go right and bring someone back onto the left. Oh, they've gone short blind.
With Darrell Clark. Good tackle by Johnny Lomax in the corner, half a metre away from his own line. Curry to Sandow. Sandow then to Ashton Sims. Chris Hill is put to the ground by tremendous defence from young Richards and Roby. A flick off the fingertips by Sandow, and eventually the ball reaches the man on this right-hand side. Walsh is down in back play. Jack Owens did well to hang on to that.
Well, there was certainly a Warrington player committed to Walsh. Whether it was late or not, we'll have to wait and see. It's way in back play, can't see it. Play on, says the official. But again, Saints having a difficulty to try to get into the opposition half.
Walmsley will carry them forward a good few metres here.
Great run. As I mentioned, he really is back to top quality, Alex Walmsley.
Here's Walsh. Is going to be a kick? Yes, it is. Measured. It's a great kick, this too. Stops 10 metres or so away from the Warrington line. Ratchford picks it up. And the chase isn't bad.
That's where the full value of Luke Walsh comes into this St Helens outfit. He may not have the best speed, he may not have the best step, But when he takes control in the early kicking game, he's a wonderful asset for the Saints.
Rhys Evans to his feet, plays the ball to Ratchford. Centre field, it's Gidley. Here now is Westerman. That's 4 tackles gone. Warrington still inside their own half. Hill will take them into St Helens territory here. That's a solid run from him as well.
Move!
But he reached the last. So Sandow shapes to kick a couple of times, then goes high. Lomax underneath this again. Bit too long really from Sandow that. Oh, and a good pass inside. Here comes Adam Swift.
He had too much time to think about that kick, Chris Sandow. He almost thought about running it. There was nobody committed to try to put pressure on him, so he decided to put it long, and it ended up being an easy catch for the fullback, Johnny Lomax.
Wilkin again untidily, and this time it is a knock-on.
Just got a fingertip, just a little bit too fancy when you're in your own danger zone. And he knows it too. Kieran Cunningham's got to get the message out. That really was never on. It was a poor pass from Wilkin.
And it was a knock-on by Louis McCarthy-Scarsby.
Yeah.
And sometimes when you're bringing the ball away from your line, you don't find many spaces because the defence is so tight. You go in short side, you're trying to create the numbers.
It's amazing, though, Tez, to try to offload. We've just seen a wonderful example of Alex Walmsley taking the ball under it, taking those 15 metres forward so that Walsh can get that kick in. Now they put themselves under their own pressure.
Steve, I don't have a problem with the pass. It's taking it to the line of defence that puts pressure on the catcher.
Westerman tries to go inside Greenwood with McCarthy-Scarsbrook. Westerman is pulled to the ground. Ratchford drops the ball off to Ashton Sims. Sims carries it forward eagerly, as he always does. Clark, scampering run, finds Gidley. Almost another missed pass, but he gets it to Ratchford. Ratchford with a kick to the corner. And all wrapped up over on that far side by Alan Swift, but a knock on, I think, by the St Helens winger.
Under pressure there. Needed a kick into the corner, wasn't it? And Warrington get the feed, head and feed. Swift there. He did everything right and then just lost it.
But what about the balance from Stephen Ratchford? He knew that he was under pressure. He just steps, he checks himself, he gets this kick away. And yeah, Adam Swift, when he hits the ground, he loses possession. But good prill up here. Look at this. Gets a poor pass. He has to catch the ball, he has to pull it back in, then kick. When he sees that Percival's come out of position, Adam Swift's followed him in, which then they thought he had the numbers on the outside.
So more pressure on this St Helens line with Ryan Atkins. The game seems to have been almost exclusively played at the left-hand side of this ground so far, as Westerman tries to jink his way inside Alex Walmsley. Goes down, tackle number 2, 8 metres away. Clark, back it comes to Gidley. He then finds Ratchford. Ratchford then to Jack Hughes.
Tremendous defence by Saints. Not one of their players came out of the line. It was man-on-man marking.
Very similar to what we saw at Wigan 2 weeks ago. As Gidley again tries to burrow his way over that line. Ratchford, under pressure, gets it away to Westerman. Back then to Chris Hill. Hill then finds Sandow. Walsh had moved in to try and cut him off at the pass. Atkins, forward.
Yeah, looked it. Yeah, he just hesitated. Chris Sandow shakes his head, he can't believe it, but it was forward.
Well, their defence, St Helens at Wigan, was magnificent. They picked up where they left off.
Yeah, and it's this man-on-man marking that helps. And you can see this is the forward pass. Just left it a little bit too much. You could find that Ryan Atkinson just overstepped. Well, they're frittering away the chances, and they've had many in the opening 12 minutes.
800 points in the NRL through 100 now for Warrington. And he's grabbed tries in the last 2 matches here, the diminutive Chris Sandow.
Well, Kieran Cunningham has got to get the message. Remember, they threw a bad pass in their own red zone. Put themselves under pressure. This will be up to jumper time until you get to a good position. Then we should see the kick.
Owens gets them to the 20-metre mark. He plays the ball to Roby. Here is Alex Walmsley. Roby again. Goes down the left-hand side with John Wilkin.
Ooh, that was a solid tackle, wasn't it? Hughes did not miss.
I think Wilkin felt it as well. This is Richards, solid defence now from Warrington. Hill and Ashton Sims working well together. Walsh drops the ball off to Louis McCarthy-Scarsbrook. He gets it away then to Roby. Good offload from him. Roby in towards the corner, but this will skip its way dead. Too long from James Roby's right boot.
Yeah, the idea was good. Execution just a little bit too strong. Kieran Cunningham getting the message down.
It's all turned round for them, hasn't it?
Yeah,
over the last 5 weeks.
Yeah, and it's all about building that confidence, and they're showing it already. But they'd like a little bit more better field position.
That's Toby King, an England Academy international back in 2014. Now plying his trade as a 20-year-old here in the Super League. Clark. Westerman.
Play on now.
Oh, you're always going to finish up in being endangered if you allow Westerman so much yards forward. This is a good position for the high kick, or will they go for the corner?
Well, Atkins picks himself up. Clark gives it to Gidley. He's gone high and almost towards the corner, looking for Rhys Evans out there. The ball has bounced back. And the referee has given St Helens a penalty, I think, for offside.
Yeah, all the ones outside were offside, but Evans in particular was called.
Just couldn't help himself, coming in off the wing.
Ashton Sims has started this game well. He's been direct. He offloads the ball, Saints are hitting him hard, but on that occasion he got some great ground going forward. And then off the back of that, Joe Westerman come up with that big meters.
Interesting selection lately from Tony Smith. He's playing Rhys Evans, who's been magnificent this season in the centres. He's playing him on the wing. And the likes of Gene Ormsby gone to Huddersfield, of course. Tom Lynham and Kevin Penny. No sign of them at the moment in this Warrington side. Richards again to the 40-metre mark inside Warrington territory. 3 tackles gone halfway through the set. Walsh finds Peyru, and Peyru goes inside Sandow.
Oh, nice step. He had Walsh on the inside. Could not release.
Good defence from Atkins. Here is Walsh now. Walsh will stab the kick over the top. Was Lomax taken out by Hughes?
I think it was, yeah. It's got to be a penalty, surely. No, it's going to say the tap.
20-metre restart.
Well, Lomax has just the odd word to the official.
It's interesting as Ratchford takes the first tackle this set.
That's got to be a penalty. Roby got overexcited. Well, every opportunity Saints getting down there and to apply the pressure to ensure that Warrington struggle to get to the halfway line. They give away a silly penalty. They just can't stop.
I think they've been hard due to there. Jack Hughes definitely changes his angle of run. He takes Lomax out, and then off the back of that, they give away a penalty and all those meters.
Hard do to, they do that now, don't they know, with the Saints and the Warrington Wolves.
Done to.
I think you said dude to. It's all right, Barry, we'll excuse you, don't worry. We've butchered the English language for far too many years.
There's a knock on.
Knock on, Stefan Ratchford.
Yeah, Alex Walmsley over the top.
Excuse me, where's this we?
Sorry, Steve-O has butchered the English language for 27 years.
Yeah,
Warrington that's a big error, isn't it?
Saints, yeah, Warrington testing Saints, switching the ball back on the inside, testing the honesty of the forwards, but the big Alex Walmsley was there to just hit the man who's carrying the ball, forces the error. There has been some sloppiness with the ball from both teams, but you can't fault the attitude in defence of either side. And before the ball was kicked, I thought this game might be won and lost on defence, as we see two big men, Walmsley and Sims. They're having a talking to by Phil Bentham.
Well, there'll be no quarter Astor given there with those two.
Neither one of them will stand down or take a step backwards, even at that point there, as they're packing down.
Heads in.
So time back on. Saints head and feed at the scrum.
Well, Tony Smith, the Warrington coach.
No, that's why, oh, there we go. That's why there was a little bit of a word required by Phil Bentham.
There's been a mosquito hanging around.
Goal 2.
I just want to make the point that, you know, with all the pressure that Warrington have applied, you look at the scoreline, and Saints will be quite happy. Kieran Cunningham, yes. Tony Smith, perhaps no. That's a beautiful kick. Talk about well weighted.
Kick on the third as well.
Oh, but look at that. You see, that rule is awful. I do hope that they scrap it, because that was a wonderful kick from Walsh. It might not have gone dead, but Ratchford made sure it did, because he plunked his foot over the dead ball line. And that's why Warrington have the possession here. Well, we've got a An absolute feast of rugby league for you this weekend. Tomorrow, the league leaders at the moment against the Castleford Tigers. That's Sky Sports 2 live at 7:30 in the Super 8s. Then the qualifiers take centre stage on Saturday at 3, Sky Sports 5. Featherstone Rovers against the deposed champions, the Leeds Rhinos. And swiftly following that, the Catalan Dragons, a massive match for them against the Widnes Vikings, 5 o'clock, and that's in the same place.
Well, Kirk Gidley overran that. I had to reach out for it. Wasn't the best, was it, there from Joe Westerman?
Kyle Airmore did incredibly well though, Steve. On the previous tackle, he'd lost the play of the ball. He was a single marker. He backtracked, bought enough time for his teammates to catch him up. As I said, the attitude from both sides is spot on tonight.
But Warrington's passing has not been clinical enough for Tony Smith. That ball should never be going backwards.
No,
nice easy pass, wasn't under pressure.
They've just wasted so many opportunities. I get the impression that before this game, I think Tony Smith said, look, let's try to blow St. Helens away. Keep it moving, etc. and so forth. I reckon that the Wolves should get back to basics, just utilise the big forwards, Hill and Sims, Ben Curry, put the opposition under pressure.
Well, that's exactly what Warrington did at Langtree Park in the last meeting in June. They were 16-0 up at half-time, never in danger from the moment that Ben Curry got the first try in just 6 minutes. But they're in danger here because this is Jordan Turner. And an important tackle by Hughes, finished off by Ratchford. Down the short side they go. Beautiful back inside pass to Louis McCarthy-Scarsbrook. Warrington were waiting for it, though, in the shape of Ratchford. Roby then gives it to Jordan Turner. Canberra bound next year. He finds Wilkin. Wilkin stabs it towards the in-goal area, and Ratchford will be trapped in goal. Goal line dropout coming up.
And that was really what the St. Helens side needed. Frittered away the opportunities, giving away penalties when they've seen Warrington under pressure. Now it's turned around. What a beautiful run by Jordan Turner. He really has been exceptional this year. You talk about man of steel, Eddie. He has got to be in the running.
Well, he started at standoff, then he went back into the centres because Theo Farge was drafted in, and now he's back in the standoff role as the season comes to an end. He's been consistent for the Saints all year. There are a number of candidates, though, knocking about for this year's Man of Steel, I think.
First, move Jack!
And Roby is always mentioned when we get to that particular stage of the season. This now is Luke Thompson.
This is where the likes of Johnny Lomax should be chiming in out wide on the centres. Will he get the inside pass?
Amor's off the bench as well. He takes it forward, the big prop. Roby will have a little scamper. We'll find Turner. Short ball. Louis McCarthy-Scarsbrook. Try to St. Helens. Look at the delight on Louis McCarthy-Scarsbrook's face. 33rd consecutive appearance for the Londoner. Sin-binned at Wigan. Tries in 3 of the last 6. He's in fabulous form. 9 tries in all. 8 tries in Super League for the former England international, LMS.
Well, this is where they got the second set of 6. Good work. Neat little kick through there by Wilkin. Put them under pressure. But this is superb. Talk about coming onto the ball from Turner. He came like an express train all the way from London. Wonderful stuff. But watch how Turner just utilises what they thought was going to be the dummy runner. That's what confused the Warrington defence. Look how they say, oh, he's going to be a dummy runner. No, I'm afraid Gidley, he read it wrong.
Well, that's how to get the best out of Jordan Turner. Put support runners around him. When he made the break on the previous set of 6, he had support outside, tucked it under his wing, ran hard and strong and gained valuable metres. And as a consequence of that, there's a second and third thought going. As a defender, you don't know whether to get him, his support runner, the ball out the back. And he's good enough and smart enough to make those decisions.
So Mark Percival then with the opportunity to add the extras. Try and 5 goals against Wigan 2 weeks ago for Mark Percival. And he scored points in each of his last 5. Make that scoring points in each of his last 6 matches now. Midway point of the first half. St. Helens take a 6-0 lead.
Well, Jordan Turner set it all up. And you're right, Ed, he's been great form this year for them. Stand up in the last 6 games. He is a runner. When he gets the ball, you don't know what you're going to be up against, whether he's going to take it on, whether he's going to just go straight at you. And then when Lou McCarthy scars but gets that field position, he finds that Jack Hughes, the number 12 for Warrington, is just defending in a pocket. He doesn't move off his line. He's not committed in that defensive line with his teammates. Lou McCarthy spots that, gets over the top of him, scores a great try for Saints.
Yes, they've weathered the storm. They really have. And Ratchford's kick is deep, right into the in-goal area. Turner gets the ball away to Luke Thompson again. That's a good chase by the big men.
Well, it was just hard work, wasn't it, by St. Helens? Got them into that position. Okay, they got the dropout from underneath the sticks, and you can see there, Amo wanted to offload.
Yes, he looked right and left, and in the end took the tackle as Thompson takes the next one.
They don't look much then, but they're 3 big carries for Saints.
Greenwood trying to poke his nose through this Warrington defence again. They're almost up to halfway. Peru finds Walsh. Here goes the try scorer once more.
5. Move!
This will be the kick on the blind side, surely.
With Walsh. He'll go for territory this time. Down the line and into touch from Luke Walsh. Remember when he made his debut on this ground, he put in a fantastic performance. Start of 2014. And we were all talking about him then as a possible man of steel. Round 1, first night of Super League that year. And then he had all the injuries. And he's had injuries over the last 2 years. But he is back, and he's played more this year than he has in his first 2 seasons with the Saints.
Yeah, and then that has been the problem, wasn't it? Because we knew the quality of him, but his biggest disappointment was the fact that he's lost that pace. But Kieran Cunningham has changed his attitude. He's the man that they go to, not just for the kicking, but he will offload. He'll put someone through on a short pass. Good coaching by Kieran Cunningham there.
Sandow with one of those trademark runs of his, watched by Greenwood and Peru. Half-time, you'll be able to chat to Steve-O on Twitter at Sky Sports RL, and at full-time on Facebook Live, Barry McDermott will be down amongst the kids on the pitch talking to the players at the end of this match. So with you on social media, here on Sky Sports on this Super League Thursday as the sun starts to set.
That was a disappointing kick there on the final play of the ball there from Warrington. It really was easy for Adam Swift to diffuse that. Brody halfway through. Good job that Darryl Clark had it. That's a knock-on.
There's a rare mistake from an outstanding player. And Steve-O, you made a comment about 10 minutes ago about why would Saints try to pass it so close to the line, and I want to expand on that a little bit. They're mixing it up so much. Warrington defensively can't second guess, because it's not just one-up carries, it's not just dummy half runs. Sometimes they're coming away from the play of the ball. That's just good work defensively from Warrington on that occasion. But I think the attitude from Saints is let's keep them guessing. Don't make it easy.
Warrington's head and feed then at this scrum. Just 13 metres inside their own half of the field. Sandow places the ball inside, out by Clark to Rhys Evans. And Ben Westwood has arrived on the scene. 24 minutes gone. Super Benny Westwood comes on for the Warrington Wolves. They expect something big from him.
Well, he's taken the first ball, and he's the type of guy that just lifts the side.
He celebrated his 35th birthday and celebrated with a try in the cup semi-final that got Warrington to Wembley last weekend. And for Ben Westwood, his 4th Wembley beckons.
Great tackle there by Kyle Haymore. The inside pass to Sandow.
Ratchford hoists the kick high to the left-hand corner. Well, claimed by Jack Owens. He was tackled in the air as well. He still held on, though.
Yeah, Russell took him out there, definitely with feet off the ground. And the testing kick, but you can see there, Russell had hold of him.
Great work here by Jack Owens. Interesting as well, Kieran Cunningham talking this week. And I've seen him interviewed saying that he took Jack Owens out of the firing line because things were going wrong for St Helens earlier on this year. And Jack Owens in his first season with Saints from the Witness Club, getting a little bit of stick and aggravation from the supporters, took him out for 2 weeks. And Jack Owens is repaying the faith because he's playing well right now.
And sometimes it works, you know. It's just say, well, just get your mind sorted out.
And bold move by the coach, because it wasn't going well.
No, it was
Saints.
doing in a period where not only the players were under pressure, so was Kieran Cunningham.
He's taken out to the firing line by that man. But boy, St Helens have come back strongly over the past 5 weeks. And here, with the 26 minutes on the clock, they lead the Warrington Wolves by 6 points to 0. And here they come again.
Oh, that's a knock-on.
It is.
They needed to run that, Saints.
Yeah, and I'll tell you something. The pass from Jordan Turner, one of the best I've seen for quite some time.
There was a Warrington defender in his eye line. I think it's Reese Evans, is it?
Yeah.
Well, Toby King shoots the line. He comes in, he
Toby
tries
King,
to tries to block this play off. He leaves the space. There's 3-on-1. John Wilkin, if he runs that ball, he gives it maybe to Mark Percival. He has a 2-on-1. Then with Reese Evans.
And you could see that Toby King came in on the angle, and Jordan Turner had enough common sense and skill factor to miss out 2 men, and that really should have seen St Helens go way downfield.
As it is, they're defending a halfway. That's Morgan Knowles on the field there in 28 for the Saints, who have happy memories of his last trip here in April, the match-winning try.
That's better there. You can see that Westwood has put them into a pretty decent position now. This is where they've got to camp down there. No silly pass. Ooh, little chip over.
Well, very well watched by Jack Owens.
Tremendous play by Owens. Talk about reading the game. A lot of youngsters, it takes a long time. And not for this fella.
Offside now. Warrington too quick out of the blocks. There's a great chase across by Sandow initially.
Yeah, all the Saints players are going over to congratulate Jack Owens. He gets the ball back to the centre. And that's what I talked about earlier on, Eddie, where Saints are harder to defend against when they're playing off the centre because they've got so many attacking threats. They split those threats either side of the ruck.
Morgan Knowles absolutely clattered to the ground by Darrell Clark and Ben Westwood. Here now is Amor. And Roby, look at him scheming. The brain is ticking away all the time, thinking. Finds Turner. Short ball from him then to Greenwood. He's brought to ground on tackle number 3. Roby again.
Great tackle there by Atkins.
Walsh, short ball, hits the runner. And it's that man Morgan Knowles. Gets it away to Turner. Short ball then from him. Finds Percival. Evans doing a decent job with a bit of help over there from King. It's Walsh again, sliding the kick through. Not play, that says the referee, so play on. And King is trying to bring the ball forward. Toby King. Now Matty Russell.
You always have to switch on when Matty Russell's got the ball. Yep, Warrington player hasn't made a play for that. Ricochets off him, could have gone anywhere. And Saints know now they're in the ascendancy. They were under pressure in the opening 10 minutes, but they've had all the good field position in the last 10.
St Helens defend like this for the next 2 months.
They'll be hard to beat.
They could be there again.
Yeah. Simplicity, but it is reaping them good reward. Silly shot high there, and he knows it, Greenwood. Just got a little bit overexcited.
Good footwork from Ratchford. He'll do that to many a player. And Joe Greenwood, he's having a good battle with Ben Curry. Just watch this balance. Completely fooled from Foxes. His legs are wide split, Joe Greenwood, and he lunges out and catches Ratchford high. But the near side to us, just watch that battle unfold. Ben Curry and Joe Greenwood.
Well, let's see just how good this St Helens defence is again here now as George King takes this ball forward. Clark gets it away to Gidley. Gidley was nearly through.
Keep your eye out for Ratchford.
Clark going on his own. Clark! Darrell Clark with the try. The 2014 Young Player of the Year and Man of Steel. Darrell Clark. That's tries now in each of the last 4 appearances. Back to his Castleford form of 2014 when he made it into the England squad as well. Darrell Clark, his try pierces the St Helens defence at last.
It all came about by the arm of Joe Greenwood right on the head of Ratchford. Put them 45 metres downfield. Throws the dummy. He caught Amor there. very, very, very slow to get through. And you can see the aimer didn't get away quick enough. It just took the opportunity. And Darrell Clarke, famous for doing that. Taking the leaf out of his opposite, James Roby. How many times we've seen that? But now we see it from the man. What a time to score as well. It looked as though they were getting very frustrated, Warrington. And that will settle the nerves down.
8th try of the season for Darrell Clarke. Kirk Gidley stepping up to take the conversion attempt. 73 goals for Kirk Gidley. At Wembley, of course, brother Matt was there with St Helens in 2007. The kick is perfect, and Warrington have squared things up 6 apiece.
He's got so much vision, Darrell Clarke, from dummy half. He fakes to go one way, but he spotted that Saints only had 4 defenders on the left-hand side. John Wilkie was a bit wider than what he would like to have been. He would have wanted one of his other players to come round the back of that. He caught Kylie Moore, but that is great vision from a very young but exciting player.
And you can see quite clearly that we talk about the defence there of Kyle Amor. One should go right, one should go left, and Amor should have gone to the left very quickly, but he took a step to the right, and that was enough for Darrell Clarke to take full advantage.
Square markers, go one.
The Saints have won each of the last 6 meetings against Warrington here.
They've been a bogey side for Warrington for over so many years, Eddie, haven't they?
They have. They've done better away from home than they have done in the town of Warrington in Super League. It's incredible, really. That was a 25-22 thriller here, you might remember, that the Saints won in April.
The classic.
Lynham Strine, the 79th minute, remember, they turned the conversion attempt down, but Saints held on as Wolves opted for a chance of a last-minute victory, which never came.
5 stand goal.
Reach the last tackle here. The kick from Gidley then will go high under pressure from Roby. This is spiralling everywhere. Adam Swift watching it closely. Very good chase by Toby King. The 2 King brothers on. Toby and George.
Great take, great tackle as well. Good work by the young centre, Toby King. Now Warrington got to be careful not to mess around. Don't get their arms in at the would-be defender trying to stop him from playing the ball. You've got to be careful.
Peru gets to his feet, plays the ball to Roby. Back it goes then to Jordan Turner, and Turner gets Saints over the halfway line, but they've reached the last tackle, and it doesn't matter because Turner has knocked the ball on.
Just trying to get themselves involved a little bit too quickly. Lost control. It amazes me. You try to get that extra yard, and you can see that Kirk Gidley smart enough to get well away so that there's no inference, perhaps, that he would have dragged that ball away.
Kylie Moore's been very good since he's come onto the park, but he's struggling. Some of the forwards for Saints are really struggling. Now, they've been excellent in defence. They've been targeted. He's looked after Chris Sandow a number of times when he's ran the ball. But have a little look at Warrington, just keeping it a bit tighter now, playing off speed around the ruck, and maybe Darrell Clarke running more.
Important sec coming up here then. Joe Westerman or Louis McCarthy Scarsbrook will move with John Wells at the end at our touchscreen, and it all depends who's won the match, who's talking to John. And you couldn't actually at the moment say who is going to win this one.
And John Wells' point before the game was about ruck speed and how important it is to Warrington. Well, the man that can capitalise on it, he's just in at dummy half now. Brad Dwyer, how many times has he come on, changed the game in favour of Warrington Wolves?
Yes, he does have a habit of changing the dynamic, this young man, Brad Dwyer. 11th consecutive appearance as a substitute, and the super sub. Ratchford finds Sandow, finds Atkins. Atkins goes down. Good tackle low down by Peru. Walsh finished him off over the top. Last one here for Warrington. Underneath the sticks, this great kick goes, and it bounces kindly for Warrington. But they couldn't take it in, and Roby just says gratefully, I will take this over the dead ball line.
And again, you look at the experience from this man. Every time that there's a kick, you'll find that Roby's there to help.
Just checking the restart here.
Now, did Turner headbutt that ball away?
Well, I think he has, but I think there's a knock-on in there as well by Warrington. Just after it comes off his shoulder, I think there's a knock-on. It goes on to Roby. That's a knock-on. So it should be a 20-metre restart.
Yeah, Westerman definitely got fingertips to it. Well, it looked at first light that it was a good header from Jordan Turner, but the slow-mo, it showed that I think it was his head. Yeah.
Does he get a goal for that? Does he get 1 point? He's headed it in.
I thought for a moment it came off the crossbar. It was very close to it. Did it?
I think it did. The post shook, so it must have hit something.
The crossbar's white and it's long.
Just a minute. The former referee has confirmed my view.
2. Move.
So his head is similar to the crossbar.
Goal 2.
So you never listen. That's the trouble. This is
3.
Luke Thompson.
Move. Wait, goal 3.
Roby finds Amor.
On
Good
3.
offload.
Tremendous stuff.
Wide it goes to Percival. Further wide to Adam Swift. Now Swift is that. He's got Lomax in support. Super St. Helens try. What a try that was. Johnny Lomax. Well, he has come back. St. Helens have returned to form. 9 tries now for the season. He got Saints' only try in the 26-4 defeat by Warrington at home. He's been out for 13 months before his comeback on April the 22nd. Johnny Lomax is back, and so are Saints.
What a tremendous try, deep from within their own half, and it's the offload there from Kyle Amor that sets it all up, and then the pass from Jordan Turner. It's superb. Look how cool and collected the winger Adam Swift says, I'll wait for my fullback. Drew the opposition. This is top draw. Wonderful offload. Look how they in and out from Jordan. And then you could see that just caught Rhys Evans just out. Oh, what a tremendous 4-pointer.
Well, Mark Percival's contribution, he has to compose himself. He gets the ball in space. He has a second or two to draw Toby King, then try to deal with an engaged Rhys Evans, and he does it split second, timing perfect, and then that's a wonderfully executed try. 60-metre try to St. Helens.
And delight on the face of Johnny Lomax, and the smile will be even broader in a moment when Mark Percival kicks this conversion, which he surely will. And Percival does exactly that. So St. Helens restore their 6-point advantage. Kieran Cunningham chatting to Chief Executive Mike Rush alongside him.
Well, good carry again from Kyle Amor. He attracts a couple of players, creates some space on the edge from the explosive Mark Percival. And look at the composure there from Adam Swift. Draws in the fullback. As soon as he does that, well, Johnny Lomax is the man who's in control. As soon as that ball and that was offloaded from Kyle Amor, he set off the middle of the park because he spotted that space on the edge.
So Ratchford to restart. Half-time, don't forget you can chat to Steve-O on Twitter at Sky Sports RL, hashtag AskSkyRL, and you can talk to the boy for a quarter of an hour.
Oh, tremendous work yet again. He's taking control out there to Jordan Turner. Talk about that defence there from Warrington, Eddie. Because you mentioned that Rhys Evans normally plays in the centre position, but he had to come in, and that's why they had the gap. And you could see that Adam Swift had the speed. He couldn't turn around quick enough. It can be confusing for players when they switched, especially from wing centre back to wing.
Well, the first try that Wakefield scored in the semi-final of the weekend as well came down that side when Rhys Evans was defending as a centre on the wing. There's a knock-on.
Oh, that's a knock-on.
Oh, this is a glorious opportunity for St. Helens.
Well, that's just a lack of concentration. He shakes his head. Well, he had the foot there. That's one knock-on. And that's the second knock-on. And well, they didn't get a 3, but 2 out of 3 is bad.
Well, they're on the front foot, Saints now, aren't they? It was an excellent kick. Stephen Ratchford had to make a play for that. He was looking at picking up cleanly, and Tony Smith won't be happy. He won't want to concede a try going in at half-time.
Just checking the clock, I think, because he knows there's just over 1 minute and 3/4.
Well, Saints don't have to panic to try to get a try in the first or second tackle.
I'm going to take some wind out of your sails here. What about the 1 point?
I think they're on the roll, St. Helens. They'll be looking for 6, not 1.
If it doesn't come in the first 3 tackles, what do you say?
I'll probably agree with you.
Heads in,
Which
Stefan.
makes a change.
Mind you, Luke Walsh is standing very deep here, right in centre field.
Buff.
Look where he is, and he's...
Win for the outcome.
But you can see how he's standing. He's also dragged the Warrington defence.
yes, he has.
Loose forward could go on his own.
Here he is, Walsh. Drops the ball off to Greenwood. There's the first. Look at the clock. 1 minute and 40 seconds to the half-time siren. Roby. Amor. Drives it underneath the post. Kyle Amor.
You want it more than I do.
Hold. Goal.
Roby
2.
again. Turner. Good work by Gidley.
Move. Hold. Goal 3.
Roby to Wilkin. Back to Walsh. Good ball to Peyroux. Over the top. Jack Owens forward. Forward. Peyroux's pass was just forward.
Yeah, nice opportunity there, but I think you'll find that it is, yeah. He's pushing and you had to lean forward. Jack Owens knew as soon as he got that. It's quite clear. Well done by the officials.
Time off.
Boy, what a great relief. Tony Smith and the Warrington players would not have enjoyed having to go down to the tunnel for the half-time break, conceding more points.
And there's 50 seconds remaining in the half. They could go 90 metres here. They've got the speed. The likes of Russell and Evans, Atkins.
Hold. Goal 1.
I think Warrington will be quite happy just to hear that hooter. Just a couple of lack of concentration in defence.
Play it. 2 goals.
The one man, Stefan Ratchford, will be very, very pleased indeed. Remember,
3.
it was his knock on just 1 metre away from the line.
Hold. Goal 3.
There is Ratchford. It's now Westerman. He shrugs one challenge off, but he can't get away from the next 3. Came in.
Goal 4.
Dwyer finds Sandow. Sandow then gets the pass away to Ben Curry. That's invention from Curry.
First.
He knew that the time was on his side if it didn't come off, and it didn't.
Hold. Wait for it.
So it looks like Saints will turn round with this 6-point advantage. There's the half-time siren, and that's exactly what they do. Well, Chris Hill had a try turned down by the video referee for a double movement before Louis McCarthy-Scarsbrook got over for the first try on the 20th minute. Then Lomax came up with the second St Helens try 5 minutes from half-time. Just 5 minutes after Darrell Clark had equalised the scores and Kurt Gidley had added the goal. Warrington Wolves then 6, St Helens 12 is the scoreline at half-time, following a fairly familiar pattern of meetings between these two clubs in this particular neck of the woods. It's Warrington 6, St Helens 12.
It is half-time in round 1 of the Super League Super 8s, and it is St Helens who are leading, I should say, 12 points to 6 against the Warrington Wolves. Much has been made of St Helens' wonderful record here at the Halliwell-Jones Stadium. They have had 6 consecutive victories, including a win earlier on this year. They'll be looking to build on that and close out the game in the second 40 minutes. Well, Tony Smith made much of his side's 5-day turnaround after their Cup semi-final win over the Wakefield Trinity Wildcats. They didn't look too fatigued in that first half, but probably down in some areas of execution that he will want to fix up with them during the half-time break. But Kieran Cunningham has urged his side over the past few weeks to not fall in love with themselves despite this 5-game winning streak that they are on, including that huge victory last time out at the DW Stadium. Well, a 12-point-to-6 lead at the Halliwell-Jones at half-time would suggest that Kieran Cunningham's side are continuing where they left off. I say would suggest because despite people thinking they would roll into this game with confidence and licking their lips at the prospect of facing a Warrington Wolves side that may be a little bit tired, you, John Wells, weren't overly impressed with their start to this game. Why?
The first 20 minutes of the game, they offered absolutely nothing, and they didn't trouble Warrington. The only reason Warrington didn't take the score, didn't take the lead first, was because their execution was as poor. I'll take you to the opening play, the second play of the game. From the kickoff, this is the play of the ball. They opt to go short side. This ruins their opening set of 6. I think Terry O'Connor said in commentary at the time, really...
Why so? Because it's a slow play of the ball on the sideline.
They put themselves on the sideline, which it really invites the Warrington defence to concertina up and really put some pressure on. Then they end up conceding a dropout because that kick is returned on the halfway line, and but for the heroics of Joe Greenwood here, and that's a try-saving tackle. This went down as a double movement, but make no mistake, that's a try-saving contribution from Joe Greenwood. Have a look at the downward pressure he puts here in the tackle. Really stops Chris Hill's momentum. They would have been trailing by 6 points to nil after 4 minutes. You know, that would be an alarming start for Kieran Cunningham.
Okay, notwithstanding the Chris Hill effort that was chalked off by the video referee for a double movement, Warrington Wolves had plenty of possession, if not territory, yet it was St Helens that scored first. In fact, Phil Clark is reminding me just off camera, he says it's a replica of Jack Ashworth's try for St Helens against Warrington earlier this year, targeting the space between Kirk Gidley and Jack Hughes again.
But how did they get in that position? Well, the answer is Warrington were on top, and they just started to show what they were capable of doing. They had a poor first 15 minutes last week in the Cup semi-final, and then sprang into life with plays like this. But unlike last week, off the back of runs from Russell, and in particular from Darryl Clark, they error off the back of that and invite and hand St Helens possession and position. St Helens are too good a team, as we've seen over the last month or two. So that's the mistake. It's a poor mistake to give away, and it hands the initiative to a side that's too good to make a mistake given too much time looking at an opposition line. I'll just stop at this point because there's a big problem with the start of this play. And I'll identify it here. They're the three players, the sole three players this side of the play the ball, covering half the field. So you know exactly where the threat is. The threat's over here. And
what's Stefan Ratchford at fullback signalling?
He's calling the right way, but he's not calling vociferously enough because you have two players here who end up going back this way. So they've already got a problem. Now, having said that, this is still fixable. They ultimately make the right read. I think Gidley's movement is very good. He gets up and takes yardage away and time away from Turner. I think Chris Hill's movement is good. The man who lets the tide down is Jack Hughes. He just sits back on his feet. He's trying to buy himself some time. You can't do that on your goal line. You've got to go up and commit yourself fully. They actually make the right reads, but just have a look. Because Hughes falls out the back of that, and in between Hill and Gidley doing well it's the momentum of Lou McCarthy-Scarsbrook that takes him over the line.
I suppose you can contrast that nicely with Joe Greenwood's tackle on Chris Hill where he went to meet him. Okay, the Warrington Wolves did equalise through Darryl Clark before Johnny Lomax's try put St Helens back in front. Two tries scored in very different ways. The Lomax one was spectacular. This one initially to me looked like it was, one that Kieran Cunningham would be disappointed with. Do you think there's a bit more to this?
I think, yeah, it looks like a bog-standard barge over try. There's more to it, and there's more to it because of the man who scores it. He's a really intelligent footballer, Darryl Clark, and it isn't just sees it goes and goes. It's a great line, first of all, from Gidley. And then Darryl Clark pushes people out, gets into some space, gets over the line. But the secret with Darryl Clark is that he's always looking. He's a scanner of a defensive line. Just have a look at, this is a ref cam shot. Bear with us because it's a little bit shaky. But I picked this shot out for you because this tells a really strong story of what Darryl Clark is doing. He's looking and assessing that defensive line to see where the gaps are, see where the holes are. And as I run this on just ever so slightly, that's the first point at which he's looked down at the ball. The rest of that time in the build-up to this, he's looking at the line, and he was looking at the space between Wilkin and Amor at dummy half. I thought it was absolutely outstanding.
Right, you're not doing one of them again. I'm seasick after watching that. This try, though, John, this is evidence of a side that won their last 5 games and are playing with confidence. No shortage of skill in this one.
No, certainly not. And it's the second phase stuff from St Helens. Again, they look stretched, but it is still solvable at this point. And I'll run this on ever so slightly because I'll show you where the error's made. Percival's got on the outside of his opposite number and he's in a channel, but Rhys Evans here, he decides and he commits too early. I always say, look where this break has been made, on the halfway line. He's got all this space behind him to work with, and he decides to make a read and come in, and he allows and offers Percival that on the outside. Great inside ball, great support from Lomax. They deserve the lead. They're not playing like a side who's won the last 5 though.
Okay, Johnny Lomax gone over for his 9th try. It puts St Helens 6 points in front at half-time. Great record here. 2 points here at the start of the Super 8s would be crucial for St Helens. Well, the Warrington Wolves, if they get back in and have a win, they'll go top of the table. Second half coming up after a very short break.
Players are emerging here at the Halliwell-Jones Stadium, the home of the Warrington Wolves, and the Wolves are trailing by 6 points at half-time to St Helens in this first utility Super 8's opening match. Well, the Saints, they lost half of their first 18 matches this year. The turning point really for them came June the 17th, a 48-16 win against Hull Kingston Rovers at home. Adam Swift got 4 of their tries, and they've not looked back since. 3 tries against Wigan 2 weeks ago, 100 for the season now, 28 tries in the last 5 wins, but beware. Warrington are the leading try scorers in the first phase, 120 tries, the second best defence as well. Only Wigan have conceded fewer than them. Warrington have shipped in 77 and a couple more here tonight, and it's Jack Owens who's going to get the second half underway here, and underneath the kickoff is Kurt Gidley, and he tips the ball inside to the ever-willing 35-year-old Ben Westwood.
Well, it was a good catch by Kurt Gidley, but I'm sure that Tony Smith will want a little bit more of him from in the second half. The combination with Chris Sandow. Sandow sort of petered out late in that first stanza. I just wonder perhaps whether Sandow has picked up a bit of a knock. He's still out there. But when you look at the opposition, Jordan Turner has just been outstanding. He's controlled things out there. Luke Walsh, the kicking game, superb.
Opening set of this second half. Dwyer with a run, and he finds Westwood, who is found by Turner. And also there was Morgan Knowles, who another loose, scrappy pass. But it's come up for Warrington. Here goes Sandow with the soccer skills. Oh, the bounce was just wrong for him.
Well, they nearly got away with that. Chris Sandow come really tight from the ruck. He sprinted to get in position, but it was a poor pass. They were expecting him to be wider so he could get the kick in.
And that's been their problem. Warrington, too many sloppy passes.
Well, Steve, I think you're right. I think Chris Sandow picked up an injury. Probably saw him 20 minutes into the game getting some treatment on a quad or a thigh. And he doesn't look like he's completely comfortable, but he's still out there.
Here's Kyle Amor. Jordan Turner gets Saints over the halfway line, just pushes Gidley on his backside. Reaches the 5th tackle, so here comes the 6th, and Percival. Infield it goes to Wilkin, then off the boot of Walsh, high and right down the middle. Ratchford's chasing this. Ratchford claims it in midair. Let's go, talking of midair, let's go downstairs and join Bill Arthurs on the sideline. Half-time news, Bill.
Eddie, that error from Warrington just a few moments ago, Chris Sandow tried to make the most of it, but that really bears out what Tony Smith was telling me in the tunnel just before the sides came out. Sloppy was the word he used, and they need to address that. Lacking aggression in certain areas, that's another area they need to address, and they're allowing Saints to dominate. Saints have got the edge in the physical battle is his concern, and those are all things he's looking to his Wolves side to improve on. There are signs that it's not going to happen straight away at the start of this second half, judging by that early error. St Helens, and the message is very similar from the Saints camp. Slightly more happy with the way the game's going for them, but their completion rate hasn't been too good in the first half. Kieran Cunningham wants an improvement on that, and the one area that they can really improve on is the kicking game. He's been disappointed in that. Defence, though, holding up for them well.
Yes, the defence has been the key, both a fortnight ago at Wigan and here tonight. Warrington did pierce that defence, though, after a high shot, and then a little bit of lax play on their own line to defend the Darrell Clark dive from dummy half, but other than that, they've been pretty solid.
Yeah, Saints have been the more adventurous of the two sides, that is for sure. And the confidence will be lifted by that 6 points lead. Ooh, that was pulled out. He's going to give a knock on, but surely he's been assisted. Going to be assisted by the touch shots. That was pulled out.
Well, I was just watching all the carries from St Helens there. The grip on the ball, all of them, with the thumb the wrong side. And you're always running the risk when you haven't got a 5 points of contact grip on the ball.
Well,
get your thumb around it.
Was there much in that, Stuart?
Nothing, he's just lost the ball.
Yeah,
he was trying to claim that the ball went backwards, but the tackle was complete anyway, so you can't lose the ball after the tackle's complete. It becomes a scrum.
And he did everything well, didn't he? Bringing the ball forward, carried it strongly.
My apologies to Westerman. Didn't get a hand in there.
So here's another test of this St Helens defence again, because this set starts inside their territory, and Westwood.
The link has been very poor from Warrington. And I point the finger at both Gidley and Sandow.
Goal 2.
They've got to start making sure that they give their centres an opportunity.
Well, here is Hughes. Is that an obstruction? Referee's put the whistle to his mouth.
Yes.
Wait for him to surrender.
Use the dummy runner to full effect.
Penalty St
Come
Helens.
behind, no surrender.
Just frittering away the chances, especially in the first 15 minutes of the first half. It looked as though that Warrington were going to take control of the game, and as soon as he went round the back, nothing that King could do about it.
So Warrington line up on the halfway line as St Helens begin this set 10 metres inside their own half of the field. Amor, down he goes. First tackle, no progress made there really.
Wait.
The one thing you get from Amor is that he's always looking for the opportunity, and there's Roby down the middle.
Great
Can't
run.
get him down.
Great run from Roby. Walsh quickly in at dummy half. Here's Turner. Turner has to play the ball to Roby. Now it's with Wilkin. Thompson, he then finds Greenwood. Greenwood is halted by Ryan Atkins. Endeavour in defence.
Turner's screaming for it. He wants to be the link.
Here is Wilkin. Back it comes to Walsh. Now it's with Turner. Turner dabs the ball to the in-goal area, looking for Adam Swift. Rhys Evans just palms the ball down.
Everything's at speed from Saints. Whenever the half-backs are going up the line, they're fixing defenders. When it goes out the back end, you can see the urgency, the push from all the players who are outside, who are chasing that kick. When someone's carrying the ball, someone's moving and taking the defence away from them, so they're trying to get the one-on-one. It's good commitment for each other from this Saints side.
Yeah, the fluidity between Turner and Walsh has been outstanding. I can't say the same for Gidley and Sandow. Sandow, as we know, is some individual brilliance, but Tony Smith has got to make sure that he gives the opportunity for the three quarters. I can't remember the time where Ryan Atkins has actually received a ball, giving him a chance to get through a half break, never mind a full break.
Luke Thompson now, centre field, finds Wilkin. Good solid leg drive from John Wilkin as well on the second tackle. Midway inside the Warrington half of the field, as you see. Here is Roby, back it comes to Turner, good movement, Morgan Knowles. Important challenge that by Gidley. Down the short side they come with Roby. Here is Mark Percival. Percival running away from the few, straightening it up. And Mark Percival is halted just short of the line. Desperate defence from Dwyer and Ratchford. Roby fires the pass to Wilkin. Wilkin then gives it to Walsh. He steps inside one, steps inside two. The ball is then smuggled away, and here now is Percival. And Percival, great hit. Wonderful tackle by Gidley. Hughes low down. Morgan Knowles finds Jordan Turner. Ball ricochets off a Warrington foot.
Back to 6, is it?
No.
Not played out.
No, it's not played out. It's Phil Bentham's version of events. Saints cannot believe this.
Oh, Luke Walsh better be very careful. He went and attacked verbally, that is, Phil Bentham. Surely he'll have a little word here.
Oh, that looks like that was played at, wasn't it?
I think he's played at it.
Well, in the referee's defence, I think it's difficult to tell when a player's stepping that way. Does he put his foot out, or is it just his natural step? Phil Bentham thought the latter.
2. Move. Wait. Goal 2.
Well, I'm not sure now seeing it again. And what a done to Phil Bentham. He hasn't got 3 looks at it. He has to make the decision instantaneously.
Well, it certainly inspired their line speed, Saints. Warrington looked to shift it. And good hit again from Jordan Turner.
Knock on the
Forced error.
Hughes, they turn it over to Warrington.
Forced error from Jordan Turner. Not only in attack is he putting himself in the frame, defensively as well.
Adam Swift with a run.
They're totally confused, Warrington, at the moment.
Walsh gets the ball away. This is Thompson.
You can see their defence is coming out wide on an angle. It's always an opportunity for the opposition. Throw a dummy, get a short pass, and they're away.
Quick movement from St Helens. Morgan Knowles on the end of the pass again, 10 metres away from the line. 3 tackles gone, 3 more in the bag. They go in centre field and find Wilkin. Wilkin tries to step inside a couple.
Roby, we haven't seen him go from dummy half near the line. Will he choose to do it on this occasion?
No, he won't. He'll give it to Turner. Turner will dab the ball into the in-goal area. It's just too long.
Well, there just seems more urgency with Saints. Close to the try line, Jordan Turner drops it onto his toe. Just too much on it. but they found the rhythm. They're defending strongly, pushing Warrington back, getting numbers in, making it a slow play of the ball. And Warrington are finding it difficult to find some space until Matty Russell, sorry, yeah.
Sandow. Rhys Helens in centre field, over halfway. Solid run from the young winger, comes centre. Down he goes. Here goes Brad Dwyer now. And Dwyer up the middle is collared. The ball is out. It was high. Penalty Warrington.
Shove this into the corner.
There's your man, Brad Dwyer. He really challenges defences.
Nothing wrong with the challenge.
He creates that though, Brad Dwyer. He gets a fast ruck, he gets a fast play of the ball, and 6 points isn't going to be enough for either side to settle in and think we've got this win.
I think the crowd got that for the Warrington Wolves. Great scream as he went down. Here is Sandow, short ball, Coast put it down. Free play, they bring it back for the first knock-on.
That was Luke Walsh who puts the shoulder into Ben Curry. Ben Curry's been running at Walsh all evening. Watch him, he dips down, gets his shoulder into the ball.
But the link is slow. Two centres, Toby King, Ryan Atkins, have had no opportunity whatsoever. The link has got to be quicker, be more understood. It was good work by Brad Dwyer, put them into a good position, and again, an error from the Wolves. It's turning into a nightmare for the players and the coach, Tony Smith, and I'm not so sure that the fans are quite happy with it.
Well, perhaps justice there seemed to be done, because it didn't look like a high shot that St Helens got the penalty against them. And then 2 or 3 plays later, they get the ball back, and here they are now. But they're deep inside their own half with Amor. He's lost it, and high by the Warrington Wolves on Kyle Amor.
But doesn't he just keep offering himself, Kyle Amor? Trapped in the corner, only one way to go, confronted by a couple of players. Ryan Atkins, just over the top, get the penalty here.
I wonder if this is a payback, because there's not. Well, I suppose it's in the throat, Stuart, maybe.
Well, it's up around the shoulder, isn't it? And I suppose if you're looking at consistency, well, it was consistent with the previous one.
Fair enough.
Got up a notch or two.
What are you saying? You were both wrong.
First.
Sorry, Stu.
Hold.
This now is Roby.
Goal 1.
Waiting at dummy half. And Greenwood taking on Curry and taking on Atkins. Put to ground.
Goal 2.
Roby again will bring it into centre field and working with a fumble. It's just gone a bit scrappy. Just gone a little bit scrappy in the last 2 or 3 minutes.
Just took his eye on the ball at the most important moment. Just had a little turn, see, he was looking to see what was coming to him. Simple error.
John Wilkin, he's featured in every game this year. 356th appearance for Saints tonight. It's the 57th meeting, by the way, of these two. They've never been out of the Super League, of course. St Helens 43 wins, Warrington 11. 2 draws.
And that's still a possibility. There's only 6-point feet between the sides. And the way that Warrington have been coughing up the possession, I suppose in many ways they could sneak this, Warrington.
Ashton Sims back out there. Darryl Clark back out there. Westerman.
They've done a good job on the loose forward Westerman tonight.
Here's Sandow. Sandow gets it away to Ashton Sims. He goes down, tackle number 5. 6th on the way then. And Sandow with the kick and angled, looking for the runner that's Ben Curry. Very well claimed by Jack Owens. Very well claimed by Jack Owens. Great return by Owens.
Oh, that lifts the side. 2 neat little side steps there, got themselves into a good position. Now it's up to the big boys.
He's dealt with everything, Jack Owens, but all the attack and the go-to man for Warrington's Chris Sandow. You look at the winger and the centre on the left-hand side. For Saints, Firstfield's only made 1 tackle.
Sorry, Tez, but that was a high shot.
It was.
It's sheer frustration, Eddie. That's what's just seeping through into this Warrington defence and sort themselves out. In fact, Sandow picked one up from one of his own mates.
Well, these ones, the leg,
Headbutt with Ben Curry then.
these are the leg lifts that you want, aren't they? When you're trapped in your own half, you're bringing the ball away. You get a couple of penalties. Kylie Moore earned a penalty, then you had Alex Walmsley earning a penalty. All of a sudden, you get the ball away from your try line. Makes the game so much simpler.
Greenwood, nice feet from Greenwood. Good tackle needed by Ben Curry. Roby to Turner. Turner then drops the pass off into the arms of Wilkin. And he's picked up by Darrell Clark with the tackle. Roby with a run. Gives it then to Walsh. Short ball from him, and it's put down again.
Greenwood had to turn around for that. Oh, well,
Relax, Ashton.
knock on
It's
the
your
thumb.
ball.
Well, I'm going to state the obvious here. This standard of ball control isn't good enough. We're coming into the business end of the season. Every win, every loss could be crucial. And we've seen too many mistakes. And I'm sure these two teams will identify the ball control, say that they need to be better, and work on the process of improving. But I'm sure players, coaches, they will accept that this hasn't been good enough so far.
Warrington with great home form this year. And funny enough, only the Saints and the current league leaders, Hull FC, have won here. 9 wins from 11 games. But at the moment, with 25 minutes remaining, Warrington having to play catch-up. That's a great run from the skipper, Hill. Likewise now from Clark.
Yeah, good run. Keeping going as well.
And he wasn't tackled. And a good job. A very good job that Wilkin was there to bring Ratchford down.
Wilkin very fortunate not to be penalised either. Had a second grab at that. Oh, dearie me.
Well,
Toby King.
Toby King, he wasn't expecting the pass, I don't think.
At this level, you expect it at every time. McCarthy Scarsbrook's not happy.
Here we go.
Jack Hughes.
Well, McCarthy's gone straight at Jack Hughes, hasn't he?
Yeah.
One of his
Obviously,
teammates has manhandled.
Walk away.
obviously somewhere. Well, it looked like a market stall, didn't it, with all the handbags coming in.
Louis McCarthy Scarsbrook has been quite belligerent, hasn't he, in the last couple of matches? He was sin bin with Frank Paul Nuasala.
Chris.
Yeah, he gets excited, does the Londoner.
Just behind the line.
Didn't like that, whatever was going
Just
on.
behind the line, please, Chris.
Well, he come in to protect Mark Percival, didn't he? No, he saw something that was untoward. Here it is, he's trying to get rid of Jack Hughes, the number 12.
What's that, mate? Yeah,
I don't think Jack Hughes has done an awful lot wrong.
He's done nothing wrong.
He's vigorous, he's trying to use his own form of aggression, rightly or wrongly.
Isn't it amazing, Baz, that
it's on a free play.
a lot of fans, that's not good.
But that's not intentional. I don't believe that's intentional. Jack Hughes is a terrific player who plays the game tough, plays it strong.
Well, this will go on report, that is for sure.
Okay.
Well, who do you penalise here, Stuart? The aggressor
Jack,
or the man
just come in a second.
who is trying to calm things down?
If LMS doesn't go in,
Is your name Stuart, Barry?
Okay,
Oh,
all
it
right.
is. You may not have heard, but I called
All
hell.
right.
I think it's because it's called held.
That's
He's
caused
then
the
come in,
problem. All right,
and
so it's their penalty. I'm going to
that's the
speak to him
problem.
about
He's carried on after the
No
head
punches
throw.
thrown.
That's probably where the penalty's going to come from.
Louis.
I think Saints are going to get the penalty. The referee wants to work with Louis McCarthy.
I called hell.
He's got to calm things down.
Sorry,
Remember, this is Super 8.
What's that?
There's a lot hanging on these 2 points.
Can I speak now, Eddie?
Yes,
Am I allowed
yes,
to?
go on. Well, your name's Barry, so Barry, it's all
The
yours.
point I was making was Jack Hughes was trying to affect the
Oh,
tackle.
lads.
Whether he's overly aggressive or not, if Louis McCarthy Scarsbrook doesn't come in, that penalty doesn't happen.
One. Move!
Well, Alex Walmsley says, I'll take it up. And there was quite a few waiting for him.
Go on, one.
He's
Alex.
got to be very careful as Phil Bentham, the official. This is getting out of hand.
He's warming
Go,
up.
two.
And I was interested to hear Barry's view of that. The man who played with the choir boy version in his playing days.
That was tremendous play by Saints. Talk about wonderful support.
Here is Walmsley. Good tackle by Ashton Sims. 4 tackles gone, 2 remaining. Saints 10 metres away. Sims goes down and gets the penalty. Now did it take 2?
You got to
You've
go
got
for
to
2
go.
points.
Yeah, you're right. You're right, Ted. Got to take the 2. Stretch the lead to 8.
I don't think they've said anything yet. They've not said anything yet to the referee.
There's a bloke running out as quickly as possible with a water bottle.
They did well to ride that set out. A lot of Warrington players were shooting out the line, trying to solve the problems. They were under pressure.
There's no doubt about the penalty.
And the penalty count is double for Saints than it is for Warrington. Warrington have had 5, St Helens have had 10. Here's the last penalty they received.
There was nothing wrong with Hughes' attempt.
He's trying to affect the tackle, Jack Hughes. He's trying to get to ground. No, might look back. And then obviously Lou McCarthy thought there was something else that was going on. And that's why he came in.
I'm just about to say, just after that ruckus, is that a lot of fans would like them to form the scrum as quick as what we just saw there. That would speed up the game slightly, wouldn't it?
Mark Percival then, 2 from 2, 100% record tonight. And he's another one who has come back into this side after injury, and Saints' season has perked up. Also scores as he kicks the 2 goals here. He scores tries as well, does Mark Percival. A try better than every other game since his debut in 2013.
And Eddie, that just takes all the sting out of the situation. They've taken the 2 points, they've slowed the game down. And those 2 coaches will know. It ramped up for a couple of minutes, and we brought it back down, and we're in control. 14 points to 16. Warrington still aren't out of this. We're going into the last quarter, and they're perfectly capable of scoring 2 or 3 quick tries.
Deep kick-off, right to the Saints try line. Hull and Castleford tomorrow, 7:30 on Sky Sports 2. Stays like this, what an opportunity for Hull. And Castleford will need to win to close the gap on Saints. Into the qualifiers Saturday at 3. Featherstone against Leeds Rhinos, Sky Sports 5. Same channel at 5, Catalan Dragons and Widnes follows the match at Post Office Road.
Goal 3.
Jordan Turner, long ball to Wilkie.
4.
Good defence there by Toby King.
20 minutes remaining. Louis McCarthy, Scarsbrook. Wrestled to the ground by Kurt Gidley. Luke Walsh gets the kick away right down the middle. Good kick too, but Ratchford is there.
He would have wanted to kick the ball in behind Stephen Ratchford. Rhys Evans, the right winger for Warrington, was up in the line. Probably needed to go a bit more left for Saints. Look how tight they are, Saints. They've certainly got a sense that they're going to win, and they're in a good position to win this game now.
Well, the defence has been so good, is that I don't think we've seen a clean break from any of the 3 quarters from Warrington at all.
We've seen a clean break here from Darrell Clark. They scramble and get him down now with Telliver and Johnny Lomax, and then too much interference on the floor. Penalty to the Warrington Wolves.
Well, Wolves got a penalty about 10 minutes ago in regards to about the same position, and they took a quick tap. I'd kick it into the corner. Kurt Gidley is looking for information from the sideline. Sandow says, get it into the corner.
And Johnny Lomax is in a little bit of strife here, the ankle.
Well, fingers crossed for Johnny Lomax. He's going to be okay. And he certainly looks in some discomfort, doesn't he? And that's still the danger, that's still the threat for Warrington. Any quick play of the ball, Darrell Clark spots that. Talked about his intelligence in the first half. Here you can see where Johnny Lomax goes in, tries to pull him down.
That was an awkward attempt by Alex Walmsley there. With his legs all over Kimbo in.
It's hard to see where he's hurt his ankle.
Is it on the push? Maybe the push on the ground from Darrell Clark.
Achilles
problem
maybe?
Yeah, just twisted slightly. Fortunately, not a lot twisted. You may be able to run it off.
Limps away. Warrington fans
don't like it.
No, well, no rugby league fan is kind to the opposition, and they believe it was just holding up the flow for the Wolves there. But here now is Ratchford, and King gets the ball away to Rhys Evans. Evans comes back inside, but Turner does well. But here is another penalty. Kurt Gidley taken out off the ball.
He's still not moving well as well, Johnny Lomax. He's rubbing his ankle.
Here comes Chris Hill then for the Warrington Wolves. Chance here for the home side.
Well, you've got to say that Darrell Clark is probably the best bet to pull this Warrington side back into the game.
Gidley is tackled first by Greenwood and helped out by Walsh and Lewin McCarthy. Sandow, back it comes from him untidily again, but it bounces kindly for Ratchford. Now Jack Hughes. Jack Hughes, lovely ball, but King has put the thing down again.
Is it touched?
Did King knock on?
It was touched by a Saints player.
Well, the referee says he didn't knock on. He came out to the back of the hand, so 0 tackle here, and so 6 more to go. And this is Westerman.
Steve, I know you've talked about Darrell Clark, but I really like the look of Hughes and Curry on the edges. Watch for those hard lines.
Here's another one. Well, Saints have been conceding penalties at a rate of knots in the last couple of minutes. The referee wants them to bring this back. So here they go again, in same route to Ashton Sims.
This is where Clark's dangerous.
It is the place where he's dangerous. He was in the first half. He gets it away though to Gidley. Here it is, Jack Hughes! And Jack Hughes celebrates his extended contract at Warrington with a try that breathes life into their Super 8's opener. Only his 3rd try of the season. His try against Wakefield last week levelled the scores when Warrington was 6-0 down in the semi-final. His 8th in a row in the 2nd row of the Warrington Wolves pack.
So many penalties. You can see Warrington takes Gidley out late. And when you can see they get the ball, another, that's when it's play on. Was it touched? I don't think it was by Toby King. Either way, they've allowed St Helens. St Helens have given Warrington a real good lift here. 3 penalties on the trot. The dam had to break, and it was Mr. Hughes that got it there. Good run, nice offload by Gidley. They just hesitated. Wilkin and Turner couldn't stop him. This is vital. This will take them within 2 points.
And does exactly that. Kurt Gidley adds the extras. So still not over yet. 14-12. And how long have we got to go? 16 minutes.
And there's a slight hesitation from Jordan Turner. When Jack Hughes gets that ball, he picks out John Wilkin. Jordan Turner doesn't know whether to go out, stay back. He just stays back, creates that space. And Jack Hughes, the strong man, carries John Wilkin over the line. Warrington back in the game.
Well, Johnny Lomax looks like he's got a white boot on. There's so much strapping on that right ankle. His side need him. The game's in the balance, 2 points in it.
Ratchford underneath the kickoff. Ashton Sims wants it. And Ashton Sims gets the ball and then gets taken care of. There is Lomax. That's the problem, the ankle. Here is Chris Hill. I'm sure that Warrington have noticed the problem that Lomax has got.
Well, the concentration has to be 100% now from St Helens. You can see Hill was holding Roby's hand. Good referee in there by Phil Bentham. Said, get on with it.
Clark waits.
It's all about composure now.
Westerman.
They'll be hunting the 2 points, will Warrington.
Inside the 40, was it? No, the referee shouted immediately he's outside. It doesn't matter anyway, because Jack Owens cut the ball off on the first bounce. Oh, what a hit by Darrell Clark. If you missed the final live of the Rookie of the Year earlier in the week, you can see it again tonight when we're finished here. 10:30, the final of the NRL Rookie of the Year.
Well, didn't look any problems with the leg with Johnny Lomax there. Picked up the loose ball. It definitely went backwards. Now, concentration. Can Saints just make sure that they get a good kick and chase game? It's going to be so important. And they're kicking early, which does not surprise me at all. It's got the backward bounce. That is quick thinking.
Wilkin with the kick.
That's game management, isn't it? Saints have made a couple of changes in the forwards. They brought back on Carla Moore, Greg Richards, Tilly and Walmsley have gone off. So they'll get down here now, they'll form the scrum, they'll get the composure. And that's what that man John Wilkin's all about. He knows when he's just got to slow the game down, take control, get to the scrum, let your teammates just form, buy a bit of time and just defend that next set.
Out.
Rhys Evans gets as far as Louis McCarthy, Scarsbrook and company. Joe Greenwood was in there as well, forcing him back. Ben Curry, what a hit that was by Amor. Not holding back, are they, either side?
No, they're getting into each other, and they've got to be very careful that they don't overstep the mark. Bill Bentham having a devil of a job trying to get them all back that 10 metres. But you can see that the fitness level from St. Helens in that defensive line has been outstanding over the past few weeks.
Hold, go for.
Here goes Matty Russell. And the referee called the tackle as held.
Go 5.
And Sandow on the last. The kick is straight to Adam Swift. And Sandow following up, gets to him. Gidley helps out, Clark helps out, down he goes eventually.
The majority of times that Matty Russell's run from dummy half in this game, Saints have done the homework on him. They're splitting forward, they're pushing him sideways, they're making him more of an easy target. Yeah, he has broke on a couple of occasions, but that's because he is a very good player. But they have dealt with him for the majority of this game.
Amor right on the halfway line, picks himself up, plays the ball to Roby. Walsh, Louis McCarthy, Scarsbrook. Halted dead in his tracks by a combination of Westerman and Hughes. And he felt that. The kick down the line by Wilkin. It's a great kick, this. It's a great kick, is this. And Ratchford with work to do, and he cannot do it. He's trapped in goal.
Outstanding work, that, Eddie. Percival up the middle. Initially, he misses that tackle. He gets back up, and with the help of Swift, they affect the tackle. Look at the intensity in that run. Ratchford knows he's under pressure. As I said, there's a slip from Percival. He gets back up. And Saints, you feel there's probably 11 and a bit minutes. You feel like it's theirs to lose this game. They're in control.
Well, we're at the business end of the season, and you need people to step up. And none better than John Wilkin, the captain there. That was a tremendous kick. It had the backspin on it. The chase was outstanding.
Business end of the season, business end of this match. Only 2 points, the difference. Amor takes them to the 30-metre line, plays the ball to Roby. He then finds Greg Richards, another good 10 metres made forward by the Saints. Roby again, Wilkin, great ball, Turner, what an effort, from Jordan Turner. That's what it means to St. Helens. They have come from nowhere to get into the top 4 of the First Utility Super League this year, and a little peck on the cheek from Louis McCarthy, Scarsbrook. That'll do the cramp no good, that's for sure. But what an effort that was from Jordan Turner. Tremendous from him. 6th try of the season. A big set of 6 tries.
And this, what you call common sense. Good experience, Wilkin into the corner. Great work there by Adam Swift. And then the build-up to this is outstanding. Look at the support play. Through the dummy. Second effort. Upper body strength. This is why they go through the weights. This is where they lose all the perspiration. That second effort. I'm going to get there. And he does.
It's the committed run though as well, isn't it? From Louis McCarthy, he attracts King. Ratchford goes for the Stephen Ratchford, thinking it's going to be an offload. And Jordan Turner, well, he just keeps on pumping his legs and goes over for the try.
Well, he got the match winner here about 12 months ago, did Jordan Turner. Has he just repeated the dose as well? He didn't score against Wigan a fortnight ago, but he got tries in 3 in a row immediately before that. And the effort that he put into scoring that try has obviously taken its toll. Maybe it was just the cramp. But, well, Kieran Cunningham, Sean Long will have been proud of that from the departing Jordan Turner. And can Mark Percival add 2 more points and maintain his 100% record with the boot tonight? The gap's 8 points again.
He's been good tonight, Jordan Turner, but it came on the back of that quality kick, the kick chase, and the support runners either side. He's at his best when he's got options available to him. And he backs himself, as he's done several times in this game, and reaches out as far as he can. And you're right, Eddie, that cost him a little bit. He was in pain, he was uncomfortable when he got up, but I'm sure tomorrow when he reads the paper, if his side go on to win this game, he'll cope with it.
Into the last 10 minutes then, and St Helens with an 8-point advantage. 20 points to 12 is the scoreline. But Warrington haven't given this up again. Ask Greg Richards, he felt the full weight of that tackle.
No, they still know that they're in this game. But 8 points is a good psychological lift for the Saints outfit. And to say, all they've got to do is just take control, and the man that's doing that all the time is the experienced James Roby. Good run by the loose forward, McCarthy Scarsbrook yet again.
He's put his hand up the last few weeks, Louis McCarthy Scarsbrook. There goes Roby again. Warrington 7 from 8 wins to St Helens. In the last 8, they've won 7 times. Remarkably, though, only 2 home Super League wins out of 27 against St Helens in the last 20 years. And I wonder who will be talking to John Wells at the touchscreen after this. At the moment, it's Louis McCarthy Scarsbrook, Joe Westerman, maybe. Depends what happens in the next 8.5 minutes.
Well, I've just got to throw caution to the wind now, haven't they, Warrington? They've just got to keep it alive and do good run. But Sandow, beautiful play.
It's Atkins! It's Atkins! A try from nothing from Warrington. They're not done yet. He loves the Halliwell Jones Stadium. That might be his 16th throughout the season, but it's his 4th in a row on home soil.
To pick up from the dummy half like that and show the speed and step and the determination, that's one of the tries of the season.
And they're not hanging around with this conversion attempt, because Gidley has pumped the ball over the top of the crossbar, and they're back to within 2 again. It is so reminiscent of the last match here.
Yeah, too much speed. Ryan Atkins, he gets out, he isolates Greg Richards, uses the footwork at the line. Look at him, he's just concentrating. He knows that he has got the speed and the strength to go on and pull this game back to 2 points. Got so many dangerous players, Warrington.
It's amazing, Terry. St Helens score the try. It looks as though they've got full control. They're going to win. They get those 2 vital points. But yet, how many times do we see that when the opposition kick-off have the opportunity, all throughout this game, St Helens' 1 and 2 markers have been outstanding. They were very slow on that occasion. Just shows you cannot give up. You've got to keep going for the full 80.
And we've only got 7 of those 80 minutes remaining. And this game is not over yet. Ashton Sims carries the ball forward. There's Darrell Clark. Oh, Ben Westwood.
Just got it.
Got a place in the circus then with that juggle.
There's a lot of nerves as well in both sides. You don't want to be the player that makes the mistake, misses a tackle, gives a penalty away, that gives that field position to the opposition.
Goal, 3, well back.
Gidley gives it to Hughes. He then gives it to Toby King. King then gives it to Rhys Evans. Hughes at dummy half. Back it comes to Gidley. Westwood, Hill, the skipper, breaks through the first would-be tackler. That's the 5th. Last one coming up then. Slight concern now for Kieran Cunningham. Sandow with a kick. High. It goes into the night sky here in Warrington. Lomax is under it. Lomax gets it. What a great chase by Ben Curry.
Great
work from both sides, Kerry and the full-back as well. Look at that. That is tremendous. Well, there's been some slipshod passing, knock-ons aplenty. But the end of this game, boy, this is nerve-wracking.
It is the first match of the Super 8s. And Thompson takes it forward again with Ryan Atkins on his back and Sandow in front of him. Roby gives it to Walsh. Walsh then to Turner. Turner to Wilkin. It's off the outside of the boot. It's out on the floor.
That was the pressure, and he knew it. It surprised me that the Wolves didn't kick straight from the first receiver. They had 2 extra passes, and when you get 2 extra passes, that means that the defence can move up onto you, apply the pressure. It's pressure for that man, Kieran Cunningham.
And that's what Darrell Clark did, didn't he, lads? He got out, spotted it was going to be John Wilkin, put pressure on him, and he just slices that ball into touch.
Warrington have never led in this match yet.
Well, I just cannot believe that on that last tackle that Luke Walsh didn't have the authority and saying, it's mine, fellas, and it's going right the way down the field. And look where they've given Warrington the opportunity. They could pinch this.
They could, because here is Ratchford. Takes it into the chest of Turner, and with Wilkin, he gets him to the ground. Now it is Gidley, 10 metres out. Gidley to Sandow, space for Sandow. Flat pass. He's put the ball down, Ryan Atkins. Knock on, that's a relief for St Helens. He puts his hand up, Ryan Atkins. Hero to villain in the space of 2 minutes.
Yeah, it happens quite a lot, doesn't it? Putting a lot of pressure there. That was good work by Dominic Peru.
Here he is. Time off.
He just couldn't take it in, could he?
Make sure you're ready
Saw
to
him
go,
coming out the
Warrington.
corner of his eye.
Boy.
Barry's going to be downstairs on the field at full time, talking to the players if they have any breath left after this. It has been a breathless opening to the Super League Super 8s. All the way to the grand final now on October the 8th. And who's going to get there? Will we have a couple of new names at Old Trafford?
Wait.
Will it be same again? Wigan, Saints, Warrington, of course, they've been there before and lost. So have Hull. They all have designs, the top 4, but the Catalan Dragons, the Widnes Vikings, all the rest, I won't be giving anything.
Goal 3.
Morgan Knowles.
Look at this guy go again.
4.
Perpetual motion, this fella.
Just keep it tight, you don't have to play expansive, do you? Get to the kick.
Here's Greenwood.
Tell you what, they'll be kicking on the first receiver now.
This is the last one, so Walsh just dabs the ball over the top, lands in front of... Oh, resets it went under his foot. He's under pressure now, but he does well to stay the right side of that whitewash.
Still in with an opportunity.
They've got to go 100 metres, Warrington. The crowd baying for a penalty for offside.
Well, I don't think it was standing square. They played the ball quickly. That could have been a penalty. They've got to get back to the official. Players are screaming at each other. Saints players saying, get back, get back.
Goal 4.
Well, Morgan Knowles, he was okay. It was Mark Percival they were trying to target, and that's what the Warrington fans were complaining about.
Having said that, what a set of 6 defensively that was from St Helens, but hand on! Here goes Sandow! Here goes Sandow! Over the top, it somehow finds somebody. Yes, it does. It's Atkins, down he goes. That's the last tackle. That's the turnover. Referee was wiping the tackle count down for a moment.
Well, they're confused with the players.
We all are.
Touched by a Warrington player is a call from Robert Hicks on the far side. Sorry, touched by a St Helens player before it went back to Warrington.
Well, a great break by Sandow. Just to, and you can see, I think it might have been Walsh. Just got a fingertip to it, and that was sufficient. There it is. Walsh has been deemed to have touched it. I think it's right.
Yes, it did flick off the top of his fingers. He was facing his own line, but the ball came over the top of his fingernails and went forward. Hence, here it is. Clear evidence. Clear evidence. So, head and feet to Warrington. They are not done yet with 2.5 to go.
If there's most teams in Super League, you don't want to be playing with 3 minutes to go with 2 point lead. It's Warrington. This is where they get excited.
Yes, it is. They do get excited. They have been in this position so many times where they've been so close to victories against Saints in this town, and they've almost always come up short.
Well, I tell you what, Eddie, I've been pumping for this man at dummy half, Darrell Clark, to be the man that if they're going to win Warrington, he's going to be the man.
But this is Ratchford. He might be as well. Saints numbering up in defence as we approach 2 minutes remaining. Here goes Atkins, always a threat, always a danger, Ryan Atkins.
Who was it?
They know that, that's why they've wrapped him and the ball up. Down he goes, tackle number 4, 5 metres away from the line, Warrington. Off the ground from Ratchford to Sandow. Here is Westerman. Westerman, they've loaded down this right-hand side. It is now with King, it comes to Reece Evans. Oh, here's a big decision. Here is a massive decision for the video referee, Joe Cobb, on the way.
Did he have his foot on the whitewash?
But what are they going to give on the field?
We've got to try.
Oh, they have a try for the field.
On the grounding, please.
Check the touchline and check the grounding, please. Joe Cobb has Reece Evans snatched this win for Warrington. What a dramatic first match.
Unbelievable. Watch the yellow boots.
Does it touch any part of the line as he's going over? If it touches any part of the line, he's in touch. Does it drag out?
He's in touch.
I think he's in touch.
He's touched the whitewash, and the whitewash perhaps has saved the bacon. There it is, it's quite clear.
In touch.
This is no try.
Mark Percival has saved the bacon.
Big play, Mark Percival. Big play, Mark Percival.
It's his right leg that's just brushed through, and it's the heel of the boot. There it is. That's sufficient.
It looks like it's short as well.
I think his momentum takes him over, but it's clear evidence there that he can overturn the referee's decision of try on the field. His foot's in touch. This will be no try.
They'll go balmy with the Warrington fans when it comes up NOTRY.
So will the Saints fans. No try. Reece Evans so close. Drama all the way.
That was a huge effort from Mark Percival.
Hand over.
Just flung himself at his legs.
Yeah, he knew that he wasn't going to be able to get there and
Foot in
affect the
touch.
tackle. He just had to hit him with everything he had.
Hand over.
And it just shows you how close things can be when it gets to the Super 8.
Well, Mark Percival
Desperation.
has earned his corn tonight.
Sheer desperation.
On you. Go.
Last tackle, of course, so it's the turnover.
Up the jumper. This is old-fashioned stuff from here on in. Look at Roby. He's pointing. It's one up all the time, fellas.
Don't need anything different, but it's five drives, 4 drives, get the ball down the field, defend that next set of 6.
Get it in the touch, never mind down the field.
Hold. Goal 3.
Walsh. Greenwood.
4. Move.
30 seconds and counting. Saints to yet another win in this town against the Warrington Wolves.
Where's Walsh? Or is it Wilkin?
Well, they've reached 5th. Here comes the 6th. 20 seconds remaining. And Walsh. It was touched by a Warrington Wolf, I think, so it's going to be head and feet to Saints. They've won it. Kieran Cunningham knows they've won it. So do they. Saints almost cement a place in the top 4. It's all over. They've done it again, St Helens. They have done it again. They've broken Warrington's hearts on their own turf. Tremendous start to the Super 8.
What's that magic ingredient? How do they keep doing it? Everyone thought that it was going to be Warrington's. There you see Kieran Cunningham, the coach, Mike Rush, the CEO, pleased with the result, absolutely blown the Saints fans away. The way that they've turned around, and Tony Smith, well, is back to the drawing board, coming into this game after booking the place to the Challenge Cup final, but beaten by a better Saints side. They were more clinical, they were more determined, I thought.
And when you think also what a result this is for the Black and Whites of Hull, because they really could take a stranglehold on the top of the table if, live on Sky Sports tomorrow, they get over the Castleford Tigers. But believe me, Castleford are in no mood to wave the white flag at the KCOM Stadium. That's all coming up, though, tomorrow. Tonight, we want to find out who the man of the match is. There he is. Jordan Turner is the first utility man of the match. He's with Bill.
Thanks, Eddie. Jordan has hobbled over to the interview area. There you go, there's some champagne. Was it cramp?
Yeah, it was. I don't know. I wasn't feeling cramp all the way through the game, and then I went over the line and my legs just seized up.
Well, it took some effort to get over that line. And it was obviously a crucial moment.
Yeah, it was a bit of a crucial moment, but you know, the guys outside me really helped me out because the defence was waiting for me, because Louis was running great lines on that side all game, so he made it quite easy for me.
The coaches will probably analyse this and pick it to pieces because there were errors galore, but it was a heck of a match in the end.
Yeah, you know what, we was pretty rubbish with the ball, to be honest with you, and we have been for the past 2 weeks, but the thing that's getting us through is our defence. We're really working hard for each other, which we wasn't doing right early on in the year, and you know, it was great again tonight. We're proud as punch. 6 in a row. I mean, you know, top 4, obviously, semi-finals, that's got to be in your minds. Yeah, the last 6 games have been massive. As I said, we've been stringing some really good results together, and you know, we're just taking it week by week, and hopefully, you know, we'll be there or thereabouts in the top 4. Well done, a man of match performance tonight, and the try, Jordan. Great stuff. Thank you. All right. Chris Hill is the Wolves captain. Thanks for joining us, Chris. I mean, in the end, you made a great game of it, but you also probably made life very hard for yourselves tonight.
Yeah, we did way too many errors. I thought that over the board we were really sloppy in a lot of areas. And
both sides? Yeah,
both sides. I think whoever grabbed the opportunities and Saints did, we just given far too much ball in clinical areas.
It hurts losing to them on this pitch, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does massively, because we've already lost one once this year, and we want to be fighting for that top spot, and it's making it hard now.
But it's still there for you. Obviously, you've got more work to do.
Yeah, we've got a lot of work to do, and we'll kick on next week now.
Thanks, Chris. Thanks a lot. Kieran Cunningham, the Saints coach. And in the end, again, as it has been in the last few weeks, it's the defence that maybe got you there.
Yeah, I did 100%. We started the game without the ball, and when we got the ball, we didn't seem like we wanted to keep hold of the ball. And you know, when we got a little bit of composure about what we did and completed our sets well and kicked good, we got the ball in the right areas and we scored tries. We know we could do that, but it was just one of those stop-start games, and you know, I think probably the long break probably didn't help us. And you know, just saying to Tony, I don't think the short turnaround helped Tony, you know, but that's what people pay the money for, you know, them classics. And it went down to a great defensive effort again on the final whistle.
And the kicking game improved in the second half, as I think you were expecting or hoping.
Well, we did, yeah. We didn't kick the ball great in the first half, and I thought for points we took the wrong options kicking wise. We took it a tackle too late, or we went to pass too far to kick the ball. And you know, against a good side like Warrington, they really hurt you if you don't put them in the right positions of the field, then you're going to get hurt, and we did that on many occasions.
Kieran, thanks for talking to us. Well done tonight.
Cheers.
Tony Smith is the Wolves coach here as well, and you said at half-time it was a sloppy game. It was sloppy 80 minutes, possibly.
Yeah, it was. So, you know, we were off some of our best, not taking anything away. I thought Saints did a really good job on our dummy half runners there tonight. I also thought they just controlled, they were tight in the play the ball and controlled the speed of the game. And I also thought their kicking game was much better than ours. Ours was, you know, we were off in that department tonight. But yeah, I can't fault my boys' effort. They were trying hard.
And yet you ultimately were living off scraps almost at the end, weren't you? If you're going to nick it was going to be some moment of inspiration.
Yeah, or you know, Ryan Atkins' lone solo effort. It was going to take an individual or two tonight, but not to be. We'll lick our wounds, and
top spot is still achievable.
Yeah, it is. We'll see how Hull go in the next little while. It might affect how we manage our team from here on in. You know, whether we feel that we're realistically a chance of finishing in that top spot. So, yeah, we may play the game a little bit different from here on in.
We will see. Thanks, Tony.
Yeah, thanks, mate.
Yeah, this remarkable record that St Helens have in the town of Warrington in Super League continues. 28 times they have played St Helens, Warrington and St Helens. Oh, well, Warrington Wolves have won just 2 of those. OK, 12-6 at half-time to St Helens. They kicked on and won the game by 2. John Wells, your game breaker.
There was a period of the game, 63rd minute. Jack Hughes has just scored for Warrington to reduce the gap between the two teams to 2 points. And what I saw was a mirror of what I experienced when I was watching St Helens beat Wigan a fortnight ago. Patience, composure, as the pressure was being cranked up. It was a period of 2 or 3 minutes and started with a phenomenal kick chase. Have a look at these two boys here. I'm going to show you them twice. Swift and Percival. Wilkins the kicker on both occasions. The first they trap. The first goes first goes into touch. Sorry. The second, same kicker of the ball, Same two chasers, and this time they trap Stefan Ratchford in goal. These are key moments in games and set St Helens up for what ultimately was going to be the, well, a try certainly for put the man of the match on Jordan Turner's shoulders. It's something that we have seen now creeping into St Helens, a resilience, a quiet confidence, a composure as the pressure is cranked up. And I'll tell you what, if there is an environment where that's going to hold a team in good stead and get them to the grand final, it's this Super 8s environment, and coming away to hostile grounds like this with partisan crowds and operating with composure, that will see Saints go a long way, Brian.
Yeah, thanks very much, John. They are absolutely playing playoff-style rugby league at the very correct time of the year. Okay, we got a short break coming up. Afterwards, we will have more analysis from this St Helens victory in round 1 of the Super League Super 8s. And joining John at the touchscreen will be the man who opened up the scoring tonight on the 20-minute mark. Louis McCarthy Scarsburg has not missed a Super League game this year for St Helens. Played a large part in a crucial victory that put St Helens 4 points clear now of Catalan Dragons in 5th. Well, round 1 of the Super League Super 8s is up and running and has seen St Helens emerge victorious from this enthralling clash at the Halliwell Jones Stadium. Just over 10,000 there to witness them winning 20 points to 18 after they led 12 points to 6 at half-time. Well, just have a look at what that does to the table, and particularly the distance and gap that St Helens have now put between themselves and the Catalan Dragons, who are at home against the Widnes Vikings on Saturday. And of course, the Widnes Vikings last time out beat the Catalan Dragons 32 points to 4, I think it was. So look, Catalan Dragons under all sorts of pressure, and St Helens, oh, what a win that is. Now within 2 points of the Wigan Warriors, within 4 points of Hull FC at the top of the table. Well, a hugely impressive St Helens victory, of course, their 6th consecutive Super League victory. The last 2 of those, Phil Clark, have come against sides higher than them in the table. Before they won last week, or 2 weeks ago at the DW Stadium, not quite the criticism, but the caveat that was put with their 4 wins was that they were all against teams below them in the Super League table. These last 2 wins must convince people now that this St Helens side is a real chance of not just playoffs, but getting back to Old Trafford.
I agree. I think what seems to have happened to me since the first half of the season, when it appeared they only wanted to score tries when they got close to opponent's try line, 10 metres or less. Now they're more willing, I think, to take more risks, back themselves and score from all over the field. And there was a classic example of it tonight, wasn't there? With a try from within inside their own half of the field, which typified the spirit they're playing with, the confidence they have at present.
Confidence in their defence particularly.
I think so. Of course, yeah, if they lose the ball, then they have a willingness now. They know they can prevent their opponents from scoring if they take that risk. But it does seem, something seems to have switched on, doesn't it, in the season? And it's more like a St Helens style that we saw when they were really in the head 5, 10, 15 years ago.
And both the teams, we should say, it was an enthralling game. It was score in doubt really up to the very end. But both teams off where they should be with the ball. Both of them got concessions from both coaches in their post-match interviews. Not as sharp as they need to be.
Yeah, it was fascinating, wasn't it? One coach thought they didn't have long enough to prepare for it, and the other coach thought it had too long, and that would affect them both ways. So I don't know what the ideal perfect break is between the sides, but there was certainly a lot of drama, and the spirit and commitment. I think St Helens travelling support will be really pleased with the way that it's gone for them. They've come here, they've given the side a shout, and very interestingly, penalty goals seem to go out of fashion in rugby league, kicking to get the extra 2 points. Everyone became obsessed, didn't they, for a decade? Let's go for the try, let's go for the try. But it was the penalty goal tonight that has ultimately made the difference between these two teams.
Mark Percival's second half penalty goal. Okay, there's absolutely no questioning the team spirit that St Helens have in their club. Post-match, the man that was leading them there to the left-hand side of your screen, Louis McCarthy Scarsbrook. As I said, opened the scoring. He has been ever present in this St Helens side that lost 9 of their opening 18 games, but, well, they're coming home with a wet sail. He's with his old teammate, John Wells, at the touchscreen.
Thanks very much, Brian. Yeah, welcome back, Louis, and congratulations, first of all.
Thank you.
My first question, though, and Jess would be telling me if I didn't ask this, is what's happened to you? You used to be such a nice boy, and now you're just upsetting everybody.
I must have one of them faces. I must think, yeah, people don't like me no more. They used to like me.
Something to do with the hair.
Yeah, yeah.
6 from 6. The winning streak continues. The confidence is building. I spoke to James Roby post-game after your famous win against Wigan a fortnight ago, and he was talking about being quietly confident, being composed under pressure. That was evident in spades again tonight.
Yeah, I think obviously we're building something nice as a team. I think it's nice to get wins. Obviously, like you said, 6 and 6, it builds confidence in the camp, and if we can keep going on the winning streak, then I think we're heading to Old Trafford quietly confident.
Probably the lowest point of the season was the reverse fixture of this earlier in the year. You got beat 26 points to 4 at Langtree Park. That must seem like a different season now.
I think obviously we started the season a bit slow, like losing a couple of key players. Starting to come back in the fold now, and obviously the team is clicking nicely. I think it's helpful that we've got obviously JT playing half, Walshy and Wilco. We've got so many outlets to make the game flow in our favour.
And do you think that's arguably that's been the catalyst for that building of momentum and results? Is that you've started to get players back in positions that give you options?
Yeah, obviously, yeah. I think if you have a look at our starting team, if you have our starting team there, it's a very youthful team, and so we've got a lot of people fighting for positions, which helps. So if we keep the main structure of the team there, then I think we're quietly confident that we can keep going forward, and the key players that slot in and just do their stuff. That's what they pay for.
Right, I've held off as long as I could.
Yep.
We've got to show your try at some point, I suppose, haven't we? What I will do, though, is I've taken this from the dropout, from the repeat set that was earned by yourselves.
Yep.
Just talk me through what's going on here, where you're trying to get to, what points you're trying to hit on the field, and more importantly, what you're doing off the ball. So, first of all, what's the significance of that, coming in field off the first one?
Well, obviously, it's a great dropout by their player. Swaffer brings it in and brings it in field as much as he can. We're trying to get to a point